hindsight's 2020, right? Like I've met so many people who've been traveling and they're on their own journey and they're divorced or they also quit their job and or they just got out of a big relationship. And yeah, I think something that we were talking about recently, like I have a friend who's in that boat, and we were asking, like, do we regret staying in the relationship for as long as we did? Do we regret staying in that job as long as we did? For me, I don't really see a point in regretting it. Like, it's done. I can't change it. What I can change is what I do right now and how I think of it in the past. But yeah, of course, part of me is thinking like I spent so much money and time in law school. Wouldn't it have been nice if I didn't do that and I didn't have I have student debt still. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, every single decision I've made has led me to exactly where I am today. And I don't know if I hadn't gone to law school, I probably would be working somewhere. I don't think I would have been so burnt out of my job. So in a way, like my story is that I was so burnt out of my job, and that's why I'm here today. I don't think I would be in this exact path if everything that had happened before had been slightly different. Even like the people I've met who've shaped my life, like a lot of them, it was so happenstance that I met them in the way that I did. So it's like, yeah, we can sit here and think like, okay, what if we had done this differently? And of course, there's some merit to that, but at the same time, I prefer now just like, let's just move forward. Let's take with it. Let's be grateful for the lessons learned from it and from the people that we met through it, and move forward and make my life what I want it to be now, even though it wasn't that way before, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it comes back to the sliding doors moment. It's going to be my new phrase. I feel like there's a lot I need to unpack from that. Do you know what I mean? Like when you
Yeah.
actually like examine it in your own life, you're oh gosh, there's a lot of sliding door moments, and you can look back at how much money you spent or time you spent, and that's not going to gain you anything, just as you said. But then on the topic of burnout, social media is another. Whether even if it's not your job, you can burn out on social media pretty darn quick, because there is that whole comparison trap. The whole thing that you actually mentioned at the start, you saw people going off and doing this, and it kind of sparked that thing for you. And obviously, you had friends doing it as well. But I imagine part of it, or maybe if you didn't like social media, it wasn't. But you see a lot of people on social media doing everything, and they're doing it very well. And then obviously you're working on social media, so then you're spending a lot more time in it. Everything you look at is potentially a new video or a new topic or a new, whatever you can post in the content. How do you avoid burnout in that other creative way? Because equally, social media doesn't have set hours, it doesn't have paid holidays, it doesn't have any of these stability elements.